Hello again, and welcome to Hannon Inside Out, the place where we're connecting you to the people who keep Hannon happening. I'm your interview host for today, Vero, and I'm a student assistant for the William H. Hannon Library at Loyola Marymount University. Today, I'm joined by Reggie Melonson, Patron Database and Fines and Billing Supervisor. For those of you who are at least vaguely familiar with the several departments we have working at the library, or if you've received an email notification that you have a library book waiting for you at the distribution center, you know him. And you'd find him at Circulation. Welcome, Reggie. It's great to have you, and I'm so happy to see you. How are you doing today?
Oh, same here, Veronica. I'm fine. I'm doing great.
Doing great. Love to hear it. Love to know it.
Yes, these days, yes.
Yeah. So when you tell people you work at the library, what's their typical reaction?
Well, when I was usually the reaction is, "Oh, you must read a lot." And when I was the media coordinator for several years, I would say, "Well, actually, I work mostly with DVDs, and I don't have much time to watch them at work." But yeah, I like that. But nowadays, yeah, I'd say I read a lot. I
I love
always loved books.
it.
When I first went to a library, that was back in grade school. I could not. It was unimaginable that all the stories and all these different volumes everywhere. I could just walk down the aisles and just be immersed and just loving it. But now yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
no,
my
I've
life.
had similar.
Yeah.
I remember going to my city's public library and just being amazed at how many books
Mhm,
and how many sections that there are. And it was just, you can pick one and sit down and just read
mhm.
for the whole day if you'd want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
just
was true.
truly incredible. But yeah, I understand that, with media, it's like, no, I work with DVDs. And it's
Yeah.
like, there's not just one hat for all, people working at the library. And I love
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. It's like, yeah, but I read the covers of DVDs. But yeah,
So,
now I'm more, yeah, I will read
mhm.
more and varied subjects and so forth. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And speaking of, I would absolutely love to hear more about your job at the library.
Oh, okay. That I don't readily tell people when they ask me about libraries because I work a lot. I have two hats. One is the patron database, and the other is fines and billings. And that means that you come to me when you have a question about a fine you just received, either overdue or asking you for a replacement charge, and I will sort it out for you, and we will work together on it. Um, I think I've been, so far I've been pretty good. I think it's been 8 years in this position, and I think with my temperament, I can with a even voice, I will come into the conversation, and if someone needs to vent or whatever, they will do that. And I can um, pick up or ask questions to pinpoint what the actual issue is, and then we can work on that. It could be that the person still has the books, but they've been uh, charged a replacement. That's easily figured out. Return the book, no replacement charge. Um, Patron database, it's to maintain an accurate and complete database. So the information that we get from the registrars is downloaded each semester. And from there may be some tweaks where we add some information for certain individuals, email address, phone number, so forth, so that we can keep in contact. Um, and that the also email address helps with the automatic notices. They just go back automatically to remind you when something is coming up, the due date is coming up. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And certain projects with the database to keep them up to date, where there's out of date messages in there about certain research assistant's name that was a research assistant like 3 semesters ago. It has to be taken out, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
quite a
very
lot.
exciting. Yeah, it's a lot.
Very
Wow.
exciting, yeah. Uh, s- and again, speaking of, I'm kind of curious on this as well, but What are some of the perks of working at the library for this long and knowing the campus so well because you went to school here and are an alumni?
Wow. The perks, I don't know, I guess the perks is just being the knowledge that accumulated over the years. And sometimes I'm tapped for what I thought or what I'm thinking about a certain issue of today or whatever, or process. So it might be tweaked. It might be something that we tried already or has been tried in some form. Um, um, as far as it was kind of for my first, I don't know, few decades. I knew a lot of professors that came to us, I had classes with when I was an undergraduate, um, which is, yeah, and it was kind of neat. Now I see more and more of the professors I know are retiring, so that's kind of
Oh,
bittersweet. Yeah, but then a number of them they'll come back as um, to still use us as emeritus status. That's cool. Um,
definitely.
I've seen the campus just expand. It was just, I think it's grown to 3 times its size when I was first started here as an undergraduate and as an employee. I still remember the fields that were where the Levy residence halls are. That was just and U-Haul. That was just a field, wild grass and wildflowers. And down below in Playa Vista was the Hughes Corporation, and they would, I believe they were manufacturing something about aircraft, but it sounded like I don't know what machine it was, but it sounded like every so often you hear like a machine gun, bah, 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 and you'll see the some planes take off uh, and land, and that was pretty cool. They would have the landing fields in between wetland. So in between the runways was grassy wetland, and you'd see like different types of birds and things flying off, taking off also. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm like trying to envision it, and you created such a clear picture for me so that I basically could. I was basically there right with you.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I'm still stuck on seeing professors that I knew.
I
And then
know, especially the ones where I didn't do so well with. I remember the one that I got a D with. I got a D on my first paper, and yeah,
oh no. Oh no.
but
Oh wow, it's definitely something. It's something.
mhm, yeah. You don't know whether to, "Oh, could you mind helping this person?" Or no, but yeah, after a while, and so many students this person has seen that he he still remembers me, but I don't know. But we have a good
Probably
relationship.
a good thing. Probably a good thing. Maybe not so well on the grade part, but I'm sure you were a delight to have in class.
Oh,
So,
thank
good
you.
thing. Of
Thank
course. Uh, so considering all of this history with your job at the library from being on the campus, how has your job adapted in the online environment? Like, what's changed?
a lot more, emails and phone calls. So now we're receiving, for our departmental email account circulation, we received a number of emails about books that, oh, I had this, but it's in my room in Los Angeles, and now I'm fill in name of a state or a name of a country. So we have to figure out how to, handle that. Whether we're gonna, um, whether they're able to mail it back, or we just have to renew it for a while longer before they can get back to us. Um, And also we have questions about fines, taking care of that. And still about the database too, because from time to time people will ask, they may have registered, but not fully, so they don't have a barcode yet. So they're not able to do certain functions, certain things online. And so they ask for a barcode. So hey, we give them a barcode.
Yeah, that's true. I'd completely forgotten about the barcodes. Yeah.
And also we're taking requests online for reserves and scanning items and so forth, and ripping DVDs when within copyright restriction to be used.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine on an online platform, all of it I imagine is just emails, phone calls,
Mhm. Yes, it is.
and Zoom meetings. I can imagine
Oh,
it's
yeah, yeah, Zoom meetings. I have to mention that I have great empathy for the students, because if I have 2 or 3 Zoom meetings in the same day, I'm just wiped out. It's so, yeah. Mhm.
as someone who has 2 to 3 Zoom meetings a day during the week. Thank you. Oh, yeah. So, no, I would love to know more stories. Do you have any stories at all that you'd like to share about working at the library over time? And I mean anything.
Anything?
Anything.
Okay, well, I'll just mention a couple. One is that in the old library, Charles Bondurant Library, there was a ghost, and only few people actually saw the ghost. I think it was one person in tech services and one of our housekeeping people from FM and myself. And so I saw the vision of the lady in white. I worked on a second floor, a very quiet night. I didn't have any student helpers at that time. And off in my peripheral vision, there was a woman in white. I turned, she's gone and not to be seen anywhere. I never saw her before, whatever. And that was my experience. I think others had experiences of very extremely cold areas in the library, which is understandable overall because of the air ventilation system. But yeah, very extremely cold, frigid. And yeah, as far as the new library, um, I've heard stories of Native Americans, indigenous people, some ghosts like that. Um, there's one of the bottom half of a person. You haven't heard this one?
I
I
I'm
thought it
trying
got
to
around.
remember. I actually haven't, no.
Yeah, like you look and there's the bottom half of the person, their no torso is running around the corner of a book stack. But anyway,
Ooh.
yeah. The other story goes back to also to the old library. Um, this is from I understand a fraternity placed 200, mind you, 200 crickets in the library, and for days you heard them chirping, 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 which was kind of semi amusing until some of them, well, in the old library, instead of fireplace, we had a fountain on the bottom level. And it was kind of chirping is okay until they started clogging the fountain and it flooded the bottom level.
Oh, no. Oh, no. How did that how was that was it fixed or was it just
Yeah, we had to bring in FN have to come in and clean up the water and fix the fountain and all that.
oh, no.
Yeah, the other time they put in a couple of ducks in the fountain, the pond around. That was pretty nice until they had to be wrangled and removed from the library.
I've heard of the ducks being in the other places on LMU's campus where there's water.
Mm.
I never the being
Yeah,
in Montreal.
this is kind of intentional to bring in the ducks. It's a pond, so I guess ducks.
Incredible. I'm sorry, between crickets, ducks, and ghost story, old library had it all apparently.
Mm. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Wow, I could only dream that the new library can live up to that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
know.
not,
I
maybe we
know.
don't want that.
No, no. For me, I don't know if it was the times or but I'd have to think hard for some really good stories about the new library. I mean, yeah.
It's all good. You've shared so many good
I
ones
guess
with us already.
the new library is more um, about the students and our student employees, and I've learned a lot from them over the years. And I also have to say I learned more through their eyes. I learned more about the rest of the campus because the library itself, if it can be for you just a bubble unless you seek out, other people from other places on campus and such, which is always it's always good to add to your perspective of what's going on and how we fit in to the totality of the university. Yeah. But
Yeah.
they've helped me. I learned about we had a rugby club on campus. I learned about that. And now I love rugby. I learned about more about alternative breaks and their presentations after they come back. And I've attended a couple. Um, so yeah.
I love that. I love that kind of like immersion that you have going on once you get to like
Mhm.
know from the students' eyes.
And yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot of times I'll say, we didn't have this when I was an undergraduate, but it's all good. It's the evolution of everything and the social justice equation and everything is really
Yeah,
good.
it's great. Yeah. What we've come to and
Mhm.
what we can see coming forth in the
Yes.
future.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, I want to thank you so much for joining me today for today's installment of our little ongoing series, Hannon Inside Out. This has been so much fun. I learned more about the library. I'm sure our viewers have definitely learned more about the
What
library.
did they want?
It's always a joy to talk to you, Reggie. For the viewers, both present and future, this concludes today's interview, and it's in the works that we're going to be doing a few more of these each month. So be sure to tune in when you can, fellow Lions. Stay safe, wear your masks, and remember, though the doors may be closed, the library is definitely open. And in fact, I'm not sure when one's going to be airing, but the library actually may be opening soon for those on campus, come March 15th. So definitely we're making steps forward towards that. And so thank you all. Take care. Bye.